Michael Masi, the ex-Formula One race director, elicits a range of feelings in the motorsport community. His involvement in the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was incredibly dramatic, transforming what was expected to be an exciting conclusion into a disorderly show that left fans angry. Masi's contentious actions in that race not only changed the championship results, but also sparked a heated discussion that continues to this day. The stage was set for a showdown between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, both level in points, with the entire world witnessing. However, following a late crash that required the safety car to come out, Masi made a surprising decision to only permit select lapped cars to unlap themselves. This unexpected action paved the way for Verstappen to make a final lap assault, taking the championship from Hamilton in a way that was considered unfair by many. The commotion was instant. Mercedes raised objections and supporters burst into anger, alleging Masi had manipulated the regulations for the purpose of providing entertainment. The consequences of that disastrous evening were catastrophic for Masi. He was later removed from his role and labeled as a scapegoat for the chaos that occurred. Critics argue that he was under immense pressure from the sport's commercial interests, which may have prioritized a sensational finish over sporting integrity. Some go as far as to say that the whole event signified an impeccable change for Formula One, with the line between sport and entertainment beginning to blur dangerously. Looking ahead to the present day, what stirred up further debate is the discussion about the possibility of Masi making a comeback to F1. FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem suggested that Masi may return if needed. Should we bring back someone who was at the heart of such a controversial moment in Formula One's past? Or could it be an opportunity for a man who has been criticized for his choices to make amends? The motorsport community is paying close attention, and the viewpoints are as divided as always. The 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was like a scene straight out of a sports drama filled with tension, excitement, and ultimately, controversy. It was December 12th and the stakes couldn't have been higher. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were neck and neck, tied in points, with the championship title on the line. Fans were super excited knowing that the winner would take home the coveted trophy. For most of the race, Hamilton was in control, leading comfortably. But then, on the final lap, everything changed when Nicholas Latifi crashed, bringing out the safety car. This was a crucial moment. Normally, when a safety car is deployed, all lapped cars get a chance to unlap themselves, which would have kept Hamilton safely ahead. However, in a surprising twist, race director Michael Masi decided to let only some of the lapped cars pass. This was a break from the usual rules and set the stage for a dramatic final lap. As the safety car pulled in, Verstappen, who had fresh tires, was right behind Hamilton. With a burst of speed, he overtook Hamilton, snatching victory and his first World Championship title. The aftermath was chaotic. Mercedes, Hamilton's team, was furious. They protested, arguing that Masi's decision was inconsistent with the rules. Hamilton himself felt cheated, famously saying over the radio, "This is getting manipulated, man!" The fallout from the race was significant. Masi was eventually removed from his position as race director after an FIA investigation deemed his decisions a major error. This incident raised serious questions about how races are managed in Formula One and left a lasting mark on the sport. The 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix proved to be more than just a race. It was a turning point that sparked debates about fairness and integrity in racing, making it one of the most talked about events in F1 history. Michael Masi's journey into the world of Formula One is a testament to his passion for motorsport and his dedication to the sport's integrity. Masi, who was born in Australia on June 8, 1978, was exposed to the world of racing early in life thanks to his uncles who were involved in club racing. His first exposure to Formula One was at the Australian Grand Prix in Adelaide in 1992, sparking his desire to pursue a career in the sport. Masi started his motorsport career during his adolescence by assisting teams in the Super Touring Series. He acquired important skills in different positions, including a key role at the touring car entrance group Australia, TEGA, in 2003. This position enabled him to collaborate with stewards and in race control, preparing him for his future in officiating. In 2008, Masi was hired by CAMS and played a critical part in setting up the initial Formula One events in Singapore and Korea. His skills in overseeing races kept improving, and in 2015 he was promoted to the position of Deputy Race Director for the Supercars series. Masi found success in Formula One following the unexpected death of renowned race director Charlie Whiting in 2019. Originally acting as Whiting's assistant, Masi was promoted to the position of race director, responsible for supervising key elements of race management, safety measures, and meeting regulatory requirements. His duties reached their peak during the intense atmosphere of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, a race that would shape his career and spark considerable debate. Michael Masi's tenure as Formula One's race director was marked by controversies that ultimately led to the chaotic ending of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Masi took on the position during a difficult time, and from the beginning he encountered some challenging circumstances. One of the initial warning signs appeared during the qualifying session of the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix. A rescue crane was positioned on the track as cars were being removed, causing concerns about safety. This event hinted at the challenges Masi would face in guaranteeing fairness and safety in races. During the 2021 season, the rivalry between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen grew stronger, and Masi's decisions often sparked heated debates. For example, let's consider the 2021 Bahrain Grand Prix. Hamilton was given a warning for going beyond track boundaries, even though drivers were told that breaking this rule would not be punished. Both teams and supporters were equally displeased by this lack of consistency. Verstappen eventually surrendered his lead after overtaking Hamilton off the track limits. Masi justified his actions by explaining he wanted to prevent drivers from getting an unfair advantage, but many felt the rules were being applied inconsistently. Then there was the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix, where Masi faced backlash for running the race in unsafe conditions. The race ended behind the safety car with barely any laps completed, leading to accusations that Masi prioritized handing out championship points over the safety of the drivers. This created a growing sense of distrust among teams and fans. All of this led to the well-known Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where Masi's controversial choice to permit only select lapped cars to unlap themselves created the setting for a dramatic finish. This decision not just altered the race result, but also caused anger among spectators and resulted in Mercedes lodging complaints. Following the incident, Masi was removed from his position, a decision that many believed was necessary due to the chaos he had overseen. During his time as race director, he experienced intense pressure and scrutiny, raising doubts about the credibility of Formula One race management. The fallout from the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was a significant turning point for Formula One, getting intense public and media attention that resonated across the racing world. The race, where Max Verstappen won his first world championship in controversial circumstances, sparked debates about race governance and the sport's integrity. After the race, the media was filled with discussions and viewpoints on Michael Masi's decision. The debate revolved around the safety car protocols and the groundbreaking decision to permit specific lapped cars to unlap themselves. Numerous analysts and supporters believed that these choices not only deviated from the usual procedures, but also revealed underlying problems within the FIA's race management methods. There was a strong division in public opinion. Hamilton's fans believed he had been unfairly denied his 8th championship, while Verstappen's supporters rejoiced in what they saw as a deserved win. Social media has turned into arenas for heated discussions, with hashtags such as #JusticeForLewis gaining popularity as fans voiced their anger. Noteworthy individuals in the sport, such as ex-drivers and team leaders, expressed their opinions, with several urging for responsibility and change. Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo were among those who supported Masi, indicating that the intense pressure he was under influenced the choices he made during the race. Vettel stated that Masi had shown good performance in difficult situations, while Ricciardo emphasized the increasing scrutiny race directors face in today's high-stakes environment. However, these voices of support were overshadowed by the overwhelming criticism directed at Masi and the FIA. The reaction of the F1 community was diverse. Teams, drivers, and fans all shared their concerns regarding the consequences of Masi's choices. Mercedes filed an official complaint about the race outcome, but it was ultimately rejected, adding to the belief that the governing body was not willing to address the alleged unfairness. The FIA's inquiry into the event determined that Masi had acted in good faith, but numerous individuals believed that this did not ease the feeling of unfairness that lingered after the event. The FIA's report recognized that human mistakes were a factor in the controversial choices made throughout the race. It also emphasized the necessity for more precise rules concerning safety car protocols and the management of lapped vehicles. Nevertheless, many fans and stakeholders were left unsatisfied by the report's determination that the race outcome would remain unchanged, as they felt it did not tackle the underlying problems that had surfaced. After the controversy at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the FIA responded firmly by taking action against Michael Masi. Masi was no longer in his role as Formula One race director, which he had been in since 2019 on February 17, 2022. This decision was part of a broader restructuring of the race management team, which included the appointment of Niels Wittich and Eduardo Freitas as alternating race directors for the 2022 season, along with Herbie Blash as a senior advisor. The FIA's official announcements about Masi's dismissal highlighted the importance of consistent and clear race management. FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem recognized the difficulties Masi encountered, but ultimately decided that a modification was needed to regain trust in the management of the sport. The FIA revealed intentions to introduce fresh protocols for safety car procedures, aiming for clearer and more consistent application moving forward. Being removed from his position was a major setback for Masi, considering his prominent role in motorsport officiating. Although he received a job offer from the FIA, the exact responsibilities of the role and how it would affect his career path were unclear. Numerous individuals within the F1 community showed empathy for Masi, acknowledging the significant stress he experienced in a high-pressure setting where each choice could have significant repercussions. After facing intense scrutiny and backlash following his controversial decisions during the race, Masi has found a new path while leaving the door open for a potential return to Formula One. After leaving the FIA in July 2022, Masi moved to Australia to escape the intense media attention and personal criticism he experienced following the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. In his new position, he was appointed as the head of the Supercars Commission and also joined Karting Australia's board of directors, enabling him to stay engaged in motorsport on a nationwide scale. Working with supercars in Australia has given him an opportunity to support a sport he is passionate about, while also taking a break from the demands of Formula One. Even though Masi was away from the F1 paddock for a long time, he made a memorable comeback at the 2023 Australian Grand Prix weekend. He was seen interacting with reporters and racers, showing a slow return to the motorsport world. Although he has not accepted any official F1 media positions, his being in the paddock suggests he is open to staying connected to the sport. Masi has openly discussed the consequences of the mistreatment he faced after the 2021 race. During interviews, he characterized the ordeal as terrifying, recounting how he was bombarded with numerous menacing messages and felt the burden of being labeled as the most despised individual globally. He admitted the impact on his mental well-being, highlighting the significance of seeking help during difficult periods. His willingness to share these experiences has ignited conversations about how officials are treated in high-stress situations and the importance of showing more respect in the motorsport community. Speculation regarding Michael Masi's potential return to Formula One has been ongoing since he left. FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem has stated publicly that he would be open to reinstating Masi if the FIA thought it was needed. This statement shows sympathy for Masi, recognizing the high pressures and unjust treatment he got from certain parts of the media and fanbase. Opinions among experts and insiders in the motorsport community vary regarding Masi's possible return. Some think his expertise and understanding of race organization could be extremely helpful, particularly as Formula One keeps changing and encountering fresh obstacles. They claim that Masi's grasp of the intricacies of race dynamics and safety measures could improve the management of the sport. Nevertheless, there are substantial obstacles to a possible comeback. The repercussions of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix are still vivid for many fans and stakeholders, especially those supporting Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. The debate about race has had a long-term effect on how Masi's skills as a race director are viewed. Critics claim that his choices in that race showed a failure to follow set procedures, bringing up doubts about his decision-making under stress. Furthermore, the FIA's choice to introduce a dual race director system after Masi's exit indicates a willingness for a stronger approach to race control. This change could suggest that the organization wants to prevent the downsides of depending too much on one person, which might make it harder for Masi to come back to a similar position. The consequences of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix were extremely controversial, exposing glaring flaws in race management that demand urgent reform. The events that occurred during that race, particularly the handling of the safety car situation, raised serious questions about the integrity and transparency of the sport. One of the most notable changes following the Abu Dhabi GP was the introduction of a dual race director system. This reform was meant to alleviate the immense pressure placed on a single individual, Michael Masi, who was widely criticized for his handling of the race. However, this approach feels more like a desperate measure than a genuine solution. The idea that having two race directors will somehow magically rectify the inconsistencies and errors of the past is laughable. The reality is that the problems in race management extend far beyond the individual responsible for making decisions during a race. The dual system may reduce the burden on one person, but it does not address the fundamental issues of accountability and clarity within the FIA. The sport still lacks a coherent strategy for managing races, and merely splitting the role of race director does little to inspire confidence in the decision-making process. Another area where reforms have been proposed is in communication protocols between the FIA and the teams. The FIA has suggested removing live radio broadcasts between teams and the race director. While this may seem like a move towards protecting the race director from undue pressure, it raises serious concerns about transparency. Formula One fans deserve to understand the rationale behind critical decisions made during races. By shutting down communication, the FIA risks creating an environment of secrecy that could lead to further distrust among teams and fans alike. Moreover, the notion that removing direct communication will somehow shield race directors from external pressures is naive. Teams will always find ways to influence decisions, whether through backdoor conversations or other means. Instead of hiding behind a veil of silence, the FIA should focus on establishing clear guidelines for communication that promote transparency while still allowing for necessary discussions during races. One of the most contentious issues in the aftermath of Abu Dhabi is the power dynamics between the FIA and the teams. McLaren CEO Zak Brown has been vocal about the need for the FIA to take control of the sport away from the teams. He argues that teams have too much influence over regulations and decision-making processes, leading to inconsistencies and exploitation of the rules. This is a sentiment echoed by many within the sport, yet the FIA seems reluctant to assert its authority. The reality is that the teams have become too powerful, and their influence often undermines the integrity of the sport. The FIA must establish itself as the governing body that prioritizes fairness and consistency over catering to the whims of powerful teams. This will require a fundamental shift in how the FIA interacts with teams, moving from a consultative approach to one that emphasizes clear governance and accountability. The reforms implemented so far appear to be mere surface-level changes that do not address the systemic issues plaguing Formula One. This FIA's response to the Abu Dhabi controversy has been criticized for lacking depth and failing to provide a comprehensive framework for future race management. While the removal of Masi and the introduction of a virtual race control room are steps in the right direction, they do not go far enough to ensure that similar controversies do not arise in the future. For instance, there is still no mechanism in place to address errors made during races. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff pointed out that even if they had appealed the outcome of the Abu Dhabi race, there was no way to rectify the situation if they had won. This lack of accountability is a glaring oversight that the FIA must address. Without a clear process for acknowledging and rectifying mistakes, the integrity of the sport will continue to be questioned. The potential reforms in Formula One race management since the Abu Dhabi controversy are a mixed bag. While some changes have been made, they often feel like half measures that do not adequately address the root causes of the issues at hand. The dual race director system, the proposed communication protocols, and the ongoing power struggle between the FIA and teams all highlight a sport in need of genuine reform. The FIA must take a hard look at its governance structure and establish a clear framework that prioritizes integrity, transparency, and accountability. Only then can Formula One hope to regain the trust of its fans and participants. The time for superficial changes has passed. It is time for the FIA to step up and take decisive action to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. In examining the need for such reform, it's essential to consider the individuals at the heart of these controversies. Michael Masi's experience in Formula One has been incredibly impressive, with both highs and lows along the way. From the beginning of his time in motorsport to his advancement as the race director of the FIA, Masi's career has been characterized by his passion and commitment. Yet, the occurrences during the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix have had a lasting impact on his reputation, sparking debates about the challenges experienced by officials in the sport. While working with Supercars and Karting Australia, Masi can focus on rebuilding his career without the high level of scrutiny that comes with Formula One. His eagerness to interact with the motorsport community and exchange his experiences shows his determination and dedication to the sport he is passionate about. Experts and insiders are split on the likelihood of a comeback, leaving the potential uncertain. Although some acknowledge the worth of Masi's expertise, there are still concerns about potential repercussions if he were to come back. In the end, Michael Masi's future in Formula One will be determined by how the sport evolves and whether the FIA is open to change and lessons from the past. In brief, the influence of Michael Masi on Formula One is intricate. During his time as race director, he achieved notable successes and made controversial decisions that will be remembered for a long time. Masi's experiences will definitely influence the future of race management in Formula One, ensuring that the sport's integrity remains a top priority as it progresses. If he comes back to the paddock in a formal role or stays on the sidelines, Masi's experience serves as a symbol of the obstacles and successes found in the realm of motorsport. If you found this video intriguing, consider liking and subscribing to our channel for further exploration of the F1 world and the controversies encircling it. See you until next time!